Jeremy Corbyn, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Simple question. Is Brexit going to happen on the 29th of March 2019?
At the moment it looks like it, and we will challenge this government on the 6 tests, and if they don't meet them then we will vote against it.
So to be clear, it might not happen on the 29th of March, given the policy that you're putting forward.
Our policies are to protect jobs and living standards and to ensure that the regulations on workers' rights, consumer rights and environment are met in any agreement that was made with Europe. And therefore we've set these 6 tests down, and in Parliament we will vote accordingly to those 6 tests.
But if they don't meet the 6 tests and other hurdles are not met,
then we'll vote against him.
And Brexit might not happen when it's currently due, under law, in March 2019.
We will then vote against it if it doesn't meet our 6 tests.
It doesn't sound like Brexit is definitely going to happen. I mean, many viewers, many of your own voters, I mean, just across the water, Birkenhead, majority Leave voters, how do you explain to them, having put in a manifesto that you'll respect the referendum, that it might not happen? That you're starting down a path that means it might not happen?
We're starting, or not, we're a long way down a path of saying that that referendum put a challenge to the government to negotiate Article 50. They've completely failed to do that, and we've said that in any agreement with the European Union you have to protect our trade relationship with Europe, you have to protect the Northern Ireland border, you have to protect EU nationals, and you have to protect those vital conditions at work and in our food.
So you'll have seen the standing ovation for your shadow Brexit secretary after his speech, and I'll just read out his quote. If the PM's deal fails and she refuses general election, quote, options must include campaigning for a public vote, and nobody is ruling out Remain as an option. Do you stand by those words?
Look, those are the words of the motion. Those are the words of a motion that is supported by the National Executive and the Shadow Cabinet, and that is what is being voted on in conference.
But nobody is ruling out Remain as an option. Do you agree with those words?
Keir put that in because it's what's there in the motion.
Okay.
And so we will challenge this government, and if they don't meet our 6 tests, we'll vote against it, and then we will take it from there. The priority, though, isn't the arcane wording of motions.
It's not just arcane, is it, Mr. Corbyn? Nobody ruling out Remain as an option. Let's go back on some of your quotes.
It's about jobs and
the referendum happened.
It's about
let's
jobs.
Respect the result.
It's about jobs and living standards.
February 2017, in response to Tony Blair. Referendum happened. Let's respect the result. Democracy happened. Respect the results. And now nobody's ruling out Remain as an option.
That is there in the motion as a discussion that will take place depending on what the outcome of these negotiations are. But we're getting into slightly hypothetical territory here.
It's your motion that gets into the hypothetical territory. I mean, I think the point is that there was zero chance of this, of you backing the idea of Remain, and now there's a chance. You've opened up, and from the cheers from your membership, you've opened up the chance of Brexit not happening.
Our party is determined to protect people's jobs, living standards, and ensure that trade relationship with Europe. You've got a Tory party that's trying to do some sweetheart deal with Trump, which will be very damaging
Have
to our economy.
Have the facts changed, or did you change your mind? Or both?
Our party has put forward a position which will be agreed at conference, and we will take that forward and we will vote accordingly in Parliament, and I hope if the government cannot deliver on our 6 tests, they should frankly get out of the way and have a general election.
So it does sound like you're at a position where some of your illustrious predecessors wanted you to be. When did you discover you're in a Blairite?
I'm in a position to lead, and very proud to lead, a very democratic party of the biggest membership there's ever been in my lifetime, at the biggest conference the Labour Party has ever had. This party is rooted in every community in the country, and those people have come together, all of them as delegates, and said they are there to represent their communities, and we will act accordingly in Parliament.
Do you accept that you have sabotaged the Prime Minister's Chequers negotiation, that Michel Barnier sat in Brussels will say, wow, we don't need to give anything to Dominic Raab because the opposition is sat there promising an option to Remain?
Quite the opposite. Isn't the function of opposition to challenge the government? Isn't the function of opposition to speak up for the people who the government won't speak up for? Isn't the function of opposition to try and improve people's lives while this government is wasting them away through an economic policy of austerity and a failure to agree anything with the European Union?
So you're talking about the possibility of a general election. You'll know Sky News has launched a campaign to try and ensure an independent commission to guarantee TV debates between leaders of parties?
We've always wanted debates between leaders, not just the party leaders, but also with the spokespersons for different departments, and so that there is an open public debate. And in the last general election, I attended the Cambridge debate. I was there at those debates. The Prime Minister chose not to turn up. I think that was a terrible shame, and I do think there were two debates, in fact, that the Prime Minister should have been there.
On anti-Semitism, do you accept any personal responsibility? Do you have regrets for how this has transpired?
I have spent my life fighting racism. I will die fighting racism. Anti-Semitism is totally appalling, wrong, and a scourge in our society, as a matter of fact, is any other form of racism. I've had a lot of things thrown at me over the summer. All I regret is the stuff that's been thrown at me and the ill-informed nature of it.
Jeremy Corbyn, thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated.
Thank you.